benefited the New Orleans Saints. Of course, I'm talking about the Atlanta Falcons and the San Francisco 49ers games, which a lot of people are shocked that the Atlanta Falcons end up getting a win at Levi Stadium over the San Francisco 49ers, man. I know this has to be nerve wracking and aggravating and frustrating to the Atlanta Falcon fan base, man. The fact that you can beat two teams that people are considering the best teams in the NFC and the Saints and the 49ers, but yet you can't muster up enough success to get into the postseason. But nevertheless, man, people are cheering for the Atlanta Falcons in the Who Dat Nation, saying that they want them to win, talking about rise up. Look, I can't go that far, man. If y'all want to root for them, fine. That's cool. Am I happy that they got the win over the 49ers? Absolutely. But you will never hear me cheer for the Atlanta Falcons for absolutely nothing. You will never, ever hear me cheer for the Atlanta Falcons. I don't care what's on the line. I don't care what it is. I feel like this. Teams need to handle their own business. The New Orleans Saints, if they would have had their business against the 49ers last week, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. I'm just being honest. I know some things have to go your way at times, but at the end of the day, it's about handling your own business. That way, you don't have to be watching the TV and hoping that a team knocks off another team in order for you for some things to work in your favor. But the 49ers did lose, and a lot of people are asking, was I surprised about this? No, honestly, I wasn't. I wasn't surprised that the Falcons were able to beat the 49ers. I think a lot of people are missing a huge point. The fact of the matter is this. Before Kyle Shanahan was the head coach of the 49ers, he was the offensive coordinator of the Falcons. I mean, and Dan Quinn, his mind is a defensive mind, and Kyle Shanahan is an offensive mind. So these guys were like going up against each other like all the time in training camp, all the time at practice. The offense was trying to get the best of the defense. So you had to understand that Dan Quinn understood Kyle Shanahan's tendencies. He had to understand like some of the plays that Kyle Shanahan was going to run and how he was going to approach his defense. So as far as I'm concerned, that's not a surprise to me. So I know a lot of people in the Who Dat Nation probably didn't know that, and probably was wondering like, how did the Atlanta Falcons, hold them to, only what was it, 20 points or something like that? How did they hold them to only 20 points? And we had they scored 48 on us is because, man, I'm pretty sure Dan Quinn seen it all. Like, man, in practice with Kyle Shanahan, he probably seen all the trick plays, all the formations, and he knew how to approach it. But at the end of the day, the 49ers end up losing that game. It was a tough game. It took all the way down to the last second, and I do mean last second in order for the Atlanta Falcons, for them to win this game. And it was an upset. No doubt about it. People thought just when you think that you have the NFL figured out, another team comes in and completely change the narrative. Everybody there, the Dallas Cowboys, dead to right, didn't believe that they were going to beat the Los Angeles Rams because the Rams beat the Seahawks last week. And lo and behold, look at us this week. The Cowboys just beat the brakes off the Rams. I mean, it's just amazing, like the parity of the National Football League. But now, the New Orleans Saints, they have a huge opportunity, man. They have opportunity to get the number one seed back once again. But they have to beat the Indianapolis Colts. They have to win this game. Look, the New Orleans Saints, they have to win this game, and they got to win all the rest of their games. There's no doubt about it. There's no if, ands, or buts about it. They cannot lose any more games. They got to win all of these games. And I understand they got some injuries. We're going to talk about that in a few minutes. But you got to go out there. You got to go out there. You got to execute. And you got to win. Like honestly, what we seen last week from the Saints offense, there's no excuse why they shouldn't be putting up their type of performance every single week. They went up against the number one defense in football. I mean, the 49ers have the number one defense in football, and they just went up and down the field like they were playing Madden on rookie. So there's no excuse for them not to be able to put up points. I mean, all things considered, you got some injuries at the linebacker position, but on the offensive side of the ball, for the exception of Andrews Pete And Nick Easton, who has been filling in for him, has been playing absolutely spectacular. Has anybody heard anything about Nick Easton? I haven't heard a holding call on him. I ain't heard a hands to the face on him. I ain't heard none of that stuff on him. A false start or nothing. Nick Easton has been solid at the guard position. So you don't have any issues. The only problem that I think that we have in the Who Dat Nation is the Saints need to get Alvin Kamara more involved. I don't know what's going on. There have been a couple articles that have been written about Alvin Kamara, about his production or lack thereof. What's really going on? People saying that he's been injured. He's still dealing with injuries. He's working his way back, even though he's playing. But the Saints have to get him involved. I mean, down the stretch, Alvin Kamara has to get involved. The Saints really truly need him to be at top form in order for them to do anything. Offensively, they put up 46 points last week, and he really didn't do much at all. But the New Orleans Saints, they really are going to they're going to need him, man, especially going in this game against the Colts. They're definitely going to need him to play at his best. But all in all, man, no room for error anymore. I think we in the Who Dat Nation are kind of tired of knowing how good the New Orleans Saints team can be, and it's frustrating. I'm gonna be honest. This show right here, this is gonna be an honest live stream. I love the Saints. I've been watching the Saints since I can remember, but we gotta call it for what it is. I'm just sick and tired of watching these guys shoot themselves in the foot. Okay, I understand the referees, man, they be screwing the Saints over. Yeah, they do. There are some calls that are very controversial to say the least. But at the end of the day, man, the referees didn't have anything to do with you trying to tackle George Kittle. Even though George Kittle caught the ball, man, y'all trying to strip the ball, just try to tackle him down to the ground. There are so many self-inflicted wounds on this football team. I've never seen a team that gets in their own way so much like this team. And it makes absolutely no sense. And you were excited at the beginning of the season, like the early beginning of the season, when Drew Brees went down, everybody was down. No matter who, like no matter if you are a diehard Saints fan or not, you were down because you didn't expect what you saw out of Teddy Bridgewater. You didn't know that he was going to be able to give you 5 straight wins. But the fact of the matter is he did, and the defense played lights out. And you wonder to yourself, like, how is it that that defense showed up for 5 weeks at a time? And as soon as Drew Brees get back, they forget like they know how to play defense. I mean, I just want this team to be consistent. I just want balance. I mean, don't you want balance? Don't you get tired of being on the edge of your seat with your fingers crossed, sweating and your heart beating fast and stuff like that? Sometimes, I mean, that's cool and all. That's football. We love the game. But at the end of the day, don't you want to see the Saints blow somebody out, especially teams that you feel like they're more superior than? That's what I'm saying. There's no excuse for this team not to be a number one seed or a number two seed. There's no excuse. I mean, the 49ers have opened the door for the Saints to walk through. It's up to them to do it. Okay. Now, if they come out there tomorrow night being inconsistent, they go out there being sluggish and taking the Indianapolis Colts for granted, they're going to end up losing this football game. But let's go ahead and talk about it, man. And once again, you can donate to the State of the Saints podcast by going to Streamlab. You can click in the description box on a YouTube, or you can go to Super Chat and you can donate there. Thank you very much for all of those that have been supporting throughout the live streams. I really do appreciate all the love and the support y'all been showing. Thank y'all for sharing. Like if you're sharing a YouTube video on your Facebook pages, thank you very much as well. I really appreciate it. We're on the road to 3,000 subscribers, and I cannot thank you all enough. Of course, if you're not donating through Super Chat, you don't have to. That's not going to affect the fact of me reading your chats or whatever like that. I'm still going to do that, but if you want to donate to the show, it's greatly appreciated. But let's go ahead and talk about this game. The Indianapolis Colts and the New Orleans Saints. Now, this is a matchup that doesn't normally really happen. I mean, they play each other every 4 years. The New Orleans Saints, the Indianapolis Colts, of course, they're always going to forever be tied to history. The Saints' first Super Bowl victory happened against the Indianapolis Colts in Super Bowl 44. And speaking of which, it's the 10th anniversary team will be at Monday Night Football. They will be at the Superdome tomorrow celebrating their 10th anniversary. There was an anniversary dinner on Saturday night. You seen people like Pierre Thomas was there, Reggie Bush was there, Jonathan Vilma was there, Scott Fajita, all the Saints greats that we remember that were key. Tracy Porter was there. All the key contributors to the Saints making that magical Super Bowl run were at that banquet, and they will be at the game, and they were also at the practice today. If you're looking at this, I'm doing this live stream on a Sunday. They were at the Saints practice on today, and Jonathan Velma actually, broke the team huddle at the end of practice. So the 10th anniversary, the Indianapolis Colts and New Orleans Saints Super Bowl 44 matchup. These teams are, like I said, forever going to be tied to each other because of that. The Indianapolis Colts are a good football team. I know a lot of people probably don't pay that much attention to the Indianapolis Colts. I mean, they don't play in the division. They're in the AFC South. We really don't see them as much. We really don't have a dog in the fight when it comes to the AFC. We don't really see them as much. But they have a really good, solid football team. They're led by their quarterback, Jacoby Brissett, who came in, of course, because Andrew Luck at the beginning of the season retired, and Jacoby Brissett stepped up as being the starting quarterback. Jacoby Brissett has had a very respectable season, man. Had a couple ups, couple downs, missed a couple games due to injury, but he's back in the lineup. He is a guy that can get the ball down the field. He has a powerful arm. He makes really good decisions, and he can improvise. He can make plays with his legs. He kind of reminds me of Teddy Bridgewater. I think they're kind of similar when it comes to the style. Not the guys that are looking to run, but will run if they have to and get the ball where it needs to be and don't really make those crucial mistakes in the game. Also on the offense, I mean, the running backs, Marlon Mack. Marlon Mack is a really good running back. He runs behind one of the best offensive lines in football, led by Quentin Nelson. Y'all know if y'all don't know who Quentin Nelson is, he is the best guard in football. Like no doubt about it, the best guard in football. That guy is that guy's a mauler, and Marlon Mack runs behind him, and man, it's some serious business right there. Very very serious business, man. You got guys like Eric Ebron. You got Jack Doyle. I mean, I don't know if T.Y. Hilton's gonna play in this game. He's been dealing with a calf injury. If I was betting and I know that the season is on the line, most likely he is going to play in this game. So they have some weapons, man, offensively. Defensively, they have a very young secondary. No real, key or major names in their secondary, but they are guys that can make plays. And then at the linebacker position, you got Darius Leonard, former Florida Gator. Guy goes out there, man, sideline to sidelines, one of the best young linebackers in the NFL. And then you have former Kansas City Chief Justin Houston. He's playing for him. So when you think about all of the talent that these guys have, they can wreak havoc and they can cause problems in this game. The New Orleans Saints, they have some key injuries in this game, of course. Von Bell, he's not playing this game. Kiko Alonso is not playing. The Saints did sign Noah Spence, earlier in the week. I don't think he's going to be a guy that's going to be contributing in the defense. I think he's probably going to be contributing on special teams. So Craig Robinson can step in and play his role as he's been doing. Um, the Saints cannot have the same issues that they had last week. They will get carved up like a Thanksgiving turkey, okay? They will get carved up by these tight ends, okay? Because Jack Doyle and Eric Ebron, they're two of the best tight ends in football, point blank, period. So if you think that you're going to go out here and not be able to, and not cover these tight ends, you're going to be in for a long day because Jacoby Brissett is not one of those risk takers. He takes what the defense gives him. And if the defense is giving him wide open tight ends, trust and believe he's going to take it. Look, the New Orleans Saints, they have to start. They have to start early. Okay, for the last couple of weeks, you have to be impressed at what you saw with the New Orleans Saints offensively. You got to. They have been coming out open and drive. First 15 plays have been beautiful, absolutely beautiful, man. Scoring on these opening drives, setting the tone, making these teams play from behind. That is what you want. But the defense is going to have to step up. They're going to have to get pressure on Jacoby Brissett. They're going to have to stop the run. You got to allow Jacoby Brissett to beat you and not the running game. Okay, they got one of the best and most potent running attacks in football. And if you allow these guys to go running up and down the field, setting up the play action, it's going to be a long game for the Saints. So the Saints have got to make a statement, man. They have got to make a statement. They got to go out here and they got to perform on the defensive side of the ball. Giving up 48 points last week, I know for a fact that the Saints defense is much better than this. They have got to play better. And as far as the offensive side of the ball, we need more production. I mean, we seen guys step up last week, man. That was great. You seen Ted Ginn making plays. You seen Traquan Smith making plays. You seen, excuse me, Latavius Murray making plays. We need Alvin Kamara to make some plays. We need all the guys when you come in the game, take advantage of your opportunities. Allow the teams to, allow this team to be successful because of your contributions to the team. But the question on everybody's mind is, who gonna win this football game? And in my opinion, I think the Saints are gonna win this football game. And the reason why I think the Saints are gonna win this football game is because they understand what's in front of them now. Okay, I think they were upset and they thought that they lost the number one seed and they probably possibly couldn't get it back. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. Okay, they probably thought that it would have been a real uphill climb. They didn't think that the Atlanta Falcons were going to beat the 49ers. I mean, that's just what it is. And for them to have an opportunity now, for them to open up the door and allow the Saints to come in, the Saints are not going to squander this opportunity. You got to believe that Sean Payton probably having a meeting right now as we speak. He probably called them guys in after the 49ers lost this game and got their undivided attention. Like, look, man, look what's in front of us right now. Look what happened today. It's ours for the taking. I think the Saints are going to win this game. I think it's going to be a statement game too. I think it's going to be a statement game. I got the Saints winning this game 31-17. I got the Saints winning 31-17 in this game. I think that Alvin Kamara is going to have a good game. I think Latavius Murray is going to have a good game. And I'm my dark horse to have a good game. I'm gonna say Traquan Smith gonna have a good game. I think that possible last second touchdown, kind of gave him a little confidence. I mean, I even seen it in his press conference. I seen him talking with more confidence. It seemed like he believed in himself a little bit more. So you gotta love that. I got the Saints winning 31-17. I got them winning 31-17. So let's see. Now we're gonna go to the top, and I'm gonna answer your questions. Once again, you can donate to the show through super chats or through the stream lab, either or. Um, Donnell Terrell said, "What up? Man, what's going on, Darrell? Thank you very much for checking out the podcast. Really do appreciate that. Thank you checking out the live stream. If y'all haven't already, please subscribe to the channel." Pain Music said, "What up, TJ? What's going on, man?" Uh, Justin said, "Let's go, 80s baby. Whoa, nah, who that?" Uh, let's see, Dave. Who that from Jersey, man? What's going on, man? Man, who that from Jersey? What's going on, man? How everything going out there? Is it snowing in Jersey? Uh, Tier One Solutions, man. What's going on? Michael Randall, who that? Robert Clark said, "Who that?" Tier One Solutions, I love it. Screw San Fran and those weirdo fans. They have talked so much trash. Yeah, yeah, you gotta be humble out here in these streets. I keep telling people, man, you're never as good as they say you are. You're never as bad as they say you are. So, I mean, I understand it was exciting. I mean, it was a good game, man. That was game of the year, no doubt. But hey, the season wasn't over. And if it was, and if this was the playoffs, they'll be eliminated. That's why you can't look past your opponents. My Monte Atkins said, "Who that?" 80s baby said, bruh, I'm the same way." Rose says, "I was the biggest Falcon fan today." Look, man, I get where y'all coming from. I'm not going to judge anybody from the Who That Nation that said he, uh, um, They a Falcon fan today, but I just can't say it. I can't get down like that, man. I can't. I don't care what's on the line. I just can't cheer for the Falcons. If they win, cool. You know what I'm saying? Am I like I said, am I happy they won? Absolutely. But am I cheering for them? Heck nah. Uh, Darrell said, me either. Um, if we win tomorrow, we get the number two seed. Well, number one, number two, really, home field, still get that number two seed, one or two. I don't care. I don't care what they get. Long as they get a first round bye, it don't matter to me. Okay. And I'm just wondering, how did they get the number two seed? How did they get that? If I don't know, man. Like I don't know. That's weird. Because I don't know. I don't see how they would though. If we win tomorrow, we get the number two seed. Uh, look, man, I don't know. It just seems like they should be the number one seed. I don't quote me on that. I thought for sure they'll have the number one seed because of some things that kind of transpired. I thought maybe because Seattle, even though they beat San Francisco, the Saints beat Seattle, so that makes them jump them. And I was thinking like because the 49ers whooped the Green Bay Packers, and once again, the 49ers lost to the Seahawks, who lost to the Saints. I thought they would probably be the number one seed, but number two, I mean, whatever. I mean, so that would make what the Packers the number one seed? Let's see. Still love the 49ers loss, dropped them to the five seed. That's crazy, huh? That is crazy. How is it that they dropped to the five seed? That's crazy. Look at their record, and they're a five seed, and the Cowboys sitting at 7-7, and they're a four seed. That's crazy, ain't it? I think they need to do away with like these conference championship like rankings or whatever. I think you still should rank it based on records, even if you do win the conference. That's how I feel about it. Even if you win, what I'm saying, your division, I still feel like if a team record is better than yours, they need to jump you. You should still be. I feel like clinching your division should give you a playoff spot, but it shouldn't give you a higher seed than a team that has a better record than you. Even though that's like a rare situation, like it's rare that a wild card team has a better record than a division champion team. I think it happened like maybe like only like a handful of times. It happens very rarely, but I do feel like they need to kind of restructure that. Let's see. Niners fan talk so much because we lost to Atlanta. Karma show is a sexy B. Yeah, yeah, it is. Like I said, man, you're never as good as they say you are. You're never as bad as they say you are. People need to understand that, man. Be humble. So TJ, man, how does the Seahawks have the tiebreaker over the Saints when they went to Seattle and won convincingly? I don't think they got the tiebreaker over. I don't. I don't think they do. I think that's a good question. So I would assume because the Saints lost to because the Saints lost to the 49ers, but Seattle beat the 49ers. So I guess because they beat the man. You know what I'm saying? I guess they beat because they beat the man. That makes them the man. I don't know. It's kind of confusing. But either way, man, rather they won, even if the Saints won or they ranked number two, it really does not matter. I mean, you just want that first round bye. You never happen, man. Even though a team is a number one seed, you never know. I mean, looking at the NFC and how it's structured this season, I'm gonna be honest with you. Records really don't mean much. I think any team can beat any other team. Like I feel like a wild card team can go to the Super Bowl because like it's wide open. Like all of these teams are like really really good. Like I feel like any team can beat any other team. It's not like this team is just so much better than this one. Like anybody that wins the Super Bowl out of the NFC or represents the Super Bowl in the NFC, they gonna have earned it, because everybody is good. Everybody is good. Like you can like I hate to say this, but you can make an argument for the Cowboys to you know what I'm saying to make a run. I mean, are they gonna make a run? I don't think so, but they have the talent to do it. So anybody can beat anybody. Let's see. Let's see. If the Saints win tomorrow, what seed will they beat? Some people saying one. I said one. Some people saying two. I don't know, man. I thought there would be a one seed. I was just saying what, but I knew there'll be a top. I knew there'll be one or two, so it don't matter. Don't matter to me. So I guess like if the Saints win out, like they can't get no less than a two. So if they keep winning, they still have destiny in their own hand. Nobody can't jump them. So if they keep winning, they should be straight. Let's see. The script of the NFL. Yeah, I mean it's incredible, ain't it? I said Atlanta could beat them. I ain't no Ridley was out though, but it ain't matter. Yeah, who that 504 boy? Like I said, when Dan Quinn and Kyle Shanahan went up against each other in training camp, practice every single day, Dan Quinn had to understand his tendencies. That it wasn't no surprise that the game was close. They know each other. I mean, they worked together for at least 3 years, huh? They 2 or 3 years they worked together. So it's no surprise that the game was as close as it was because they understand each other's tendencies. And I feel like, it's no different between them going up against one another at practice. It's just now these two guys represent a respective team. Um, Everyone gets beat any day. Yeah, any team can get beat any day. That's true. That's true, Darrell. Like I said, especially in NFC. I mean, man, it's wide open. It is wide open. Uh, the Falcons won, and I love it. This is probably the only time in history a Saints fan I ever say they love that the Falcons won anything. Um, Tyra, what's going on? Thank you very much for checking out the podcast, and thank you very much for your support. On social media sites as well. Thank you so much. Um, let's see. Demetrix is the third seed. Uh, let's see. We exposed the 49ers defense. I wouldn't go that far, TJ. I do think we exposed them in certain ways. And we probably opened doors for teams to know how to approach them. I do feel that way. When you run as many plays as those two teams did last week, I mean, you put a lot on film right there, So I'm pretty sure they emptied out. They emptied it out on them. You know what I'm saying? They emptied out their arsenal on the Saints, and I think the Saints kind of did the same thing. Let's see. We should pick up Terrell Suggs. Caleb, that's a good idea, but according to sources, they saying that he don't want to play for nobody except for the Baltimore Ravens. They say he is willing to not show up to a team, just to go back to the Baltimore Ravens. Now, I don't know how true that is. I don't know if he would do it or not, especially if it's like a team that's a playoff contender. I don't know why you wouldn't want to show up, but I mean, his heart is in Baltimore. I think he went to Arizona because, of course, he played his college ball at Arizona State, if I'm not mistaken, and he was really, really good there. So it's like him going back home, to his home state and then play in front of his family and friends and stuff like that. So I don't think that he's gonna, I don't know. I think if the right situation comes a calling, why wouldn't you want to show up? If the Saints call you, why wouldn't you want to play for the Saints? I mean, I think he can be a great contributor. I think he'll be a good leader, a good leader in the locker room. Um, I think that he would be a great addition to the New Orleans Saints when it comes to the pass rush. But at the end of the day, like if he wants to go to Baltimore, I say let him. Let's see. Caleb, yeah, T Sizzle and JJ. I guess you mean Janoris Jenkins. I do hear sources saying that Janoris Jenkins going to end up going to a playoff contender. So be on the lookout for that. Hey, Tim Fag Finro donated $5. I apologize if I butchered your last name. Fag Benro. I can't believe I would chant for the Falcons this game. ah, I can't believe it either, man. But at the end of the day, I guess everybody happy that they won, man. Thank you very much, Tim, for donating $5 through the super chat. Once again, you can donate to the State of the Saints podcast through super chat, and you can also donate through Streamlabs. But thank you very much, Tim, for your $5. Me personally, I can't, like I said, I cannot cheer for the Falcons. That ain't happening. That is not happening. That is not happening. Dalvin Cook is out, I believe. Yeah, Dalvin Cook looks like he's done. I mean, what's what's the big deal? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I won't say what's the big deal, but what's the surprise? I should say. You shouldn't be surprised. Dalvin Cook is an incredible talent. Has been since he's been at Florida State. Um, could be one of the best running backs that we ever seen, but he can't stay healthy. You got to stay healthy. You got to be 100%. You got to be out there and be willing to go all out for your team, man. Your team got to be able to count on you. And Delvin Cook, even though he's been playing incredible, he cannot stay healthy. And that's alarming. No matter how much talent you got to be on the field. So if he's out, that's going to be a crushing blow because he is the reason why Kirk Cousins has basically resurrected his career because of how successful Dalvin Cook has been playing, how good he's been. Um, like so, it's a crushing blow. The Minnesota Vikings, they really truly need him, especially going up on Monday Night Football against the Green Bay Packers. They need, man, they need all hands on deck. Even though I feel like the Green Bay Packers are suspect, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not impressed with the Green Bay Packers. I'm not. I'm not even just saying that because because of where they are, where their position is. I'm just not impressed. I mean, who have they beaten? I mean, who have they played? They played absolutely nobody this season, and the teams that are playoff contenders they lost to. I mean, they played the NFC East. I mean, need I say more? They played the NFC North. I mean, you're playing the Detroit Lions and the Chicago Bears twice. They've been horrible this season. I mean, and you played the AFC West, who has a up and coming Oakland Raider team and a struggling Denver Bronco team, and you had like the Kansas City Chiefs, and then you had the Los Angeles Chargers, who you lost to. So I mean, they're not really impressive to me. I mean, you look at the team on defense. Yeah, they got a pass rush finally, but their secondary is suspect. I feel like they got holes there. I feel like their corners and their safeties can be beat. Savage, a safety. I think he's a really good safety. I think he's going to end up being really good. But right now, he's just young and he just wants to be a headhunter. Javier Alexander, he's really good. He comes out of Louisville. I watched him in college. I thought the Saints might end up getting him, but he's good, but he still has a lot of growing to do. He can get beat deep. So as far as I'm concerned, the Green Bay Packers aren't really impressive, and I really truly feel as if Aaron Rodgers, if you frustrate him to a point where you keep sacking him and stuff like that, he don't have it in him, in my opinion, to try to weather the storm. He gets rattled very easily. If he feel like his offensive line ain't gonna block on this day, he just gives up. He doesn't have that switch. I feel like I feel like he has like a lot of diva in him, and he can easily get flustered. So do I feel like the Green Bay Packers are as legit as they say they are? Absolutely not. I just feel like the media wants them to be legit. I feel like the media wants them to be, on top because they're a historic franchise, so they keep on singing their praises. But I'm not impressed. I mean, what have they done? What are they doing that's just so spectacular? Mediocre at best. They're just the recipients of a very easy schedule this season. I mean, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. That's all I'm saying. But if you look at who the Saints played and who the Green Bay Packers played, it's not even close. Not even close, man. Let's see. Somebody said I was a Falcon fan today. So embarrassed to say that, man. look, like I said, you can be a Falcon fan or today, but like I said, I can't do it. I cannot do it. Vikings beat the Packers, and we're taking the number one spot, right? Uh, and put U.S. Bank in the driver's seat. I don't know. I'm not sure. I have to get back with y'all on that. I'm not sure about the seedings and how everything works because I tried to wait to do this show to see if somebody was gonna talk about it, but when I watch Football Night in America on NBC, the pregame show before the primetime game, they just basically kind of showed the seedings and position, and they didn't go into like specifics on if a team beat this team, if a team, they just said the Saints play on Monday Night Football, but they didn't say what that actually meant. So I don't know. I have to get back to you on that one. Falcons appreciate the day. The Falcons beating the 49ers make me a little less peed off about losing to them. Uh, I feel like I said this. You know, I know people are upset that the Saints lost to the 49ers, but the only thing that taught me was the Saints going to the Super Bowl. I know people are like, how they taught you in a loss? Well, if you look at what happened in Week 8 last year when the Saints played the Rams, and the Saints, same situation, trying to get the number one seed. I mean, controversial as it was, the Rams still end up going to the Super Bowl. I feel like if the Saints play the 49ers again, they will beat them when it counts. They'll beat them. They'll beat them when it counts. Uh, let's see. Rise up only for today. Tomorrow night is on who that? Only for today. We need the Falcons to win. The one time they didn't disappoint. Yeah. Falcons scored 2 touchdowns in the last 8 seconds of the game. Amazing. I was just amazed at they red zone efficiency, man. Usually, man, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. The Falcon red zone offense sucked. So I was shocked that they actually had a couple plays. Um, who that TJ? We have to take care of business from here on out. We have opportunity, so no excuse. We all we got at the end of the day. And also, this game shows me that the 49ers can get knocked off early. Chosen Kingdom, thank you very much, man. Much love to you, man. Thank you for following yours truly in the State of the Saints podcast on Twitter. SOTS Podcast 8. SOTS Podcast 8 on Twitter. Um, Look, man, there ain't no excuse for the Saints to lose no more games. The Saints are too good. I understand that teams can be beat, but the Saints are just too good, man. They are too good of a football team and have too many leaders on his team to be losing, man. Like, it's just frustrating to me. Like, it's just frustrating to me that I know how good this team can be and they just don't. I'm just tired. You're like, I just want them to be successful. I just feel like the window is closing, man. Like, look, we all Saints fan, but we gotta be realistic, man. We gotta be realistic about this thing. We do. Like the window is closing. Some of these guys are going to go, man. Some of these guys are going to have to go because the Saints ain't gonna be able to pay them. The Saints are not gonna be able to pay all these guys. I mean, that's just a fact. So they're gonna have to start winning, man. I mean, Drew Brees, we don't know how many years he got left. You got some of these key players that have to get paid. And even though the salary cap is going to get bumped up, you still not going to be able to keep everybody. And not to mention, when what comes success comes with changing of coaching staffs. You got to remember that too, man. Just not too long ago, Aaron Glenn, everybody thought we was going to lose him to the Patriots. We thought that they thought that Josh McDaniel was going to go coach somebody else, and Aaron Glenn was going to step in and be the assistant coach for the Patriots. I mean, it comes with it, man. So this team has got to start winning. Like, it's only so many times, man. Like the Minneapolis Miracle, man, that sucked. The controversial non-call, that sucks. Like, how many times, man, we got to, subject ourselves to this and and it wouldn't hurt so bad. We like, oh man, we lost to a better team, but it just sucks when the team better than the team that you lost to. It's just frustrating. It's just absolutely frustrating, man. I just don't. I'm just tired. Like I'm just tired of it. I just want them to win. I just want them to be successful. I don't want them to get in their own way. I just want them to be able to make a stop in the last minute of a game. That's all I want. Like make a stop. Eric Ebron is on IR. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. So thank you very much for telling me. Yeah, that is a huge loss, man. But Jack Doyle, I mean, he can still get the job done. You got my respect, bro. Even though we rivals, but I respect you, fam. Man, look, shout out to the Falcons fans that check out the State of the Saints podcast. Thank y'all for y'all support. I mean, at the end of the day, we all football fans. Much love. I mean, I just can't cheer for y'all. You know what I'm saying? I just can't cheer for the Falcons. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. It is what it is. Like I'm pretty sure y'all happy y'all won today. That's motivation towards next season or what y'all team could possibly be. That's something that y'all can hang y'all hat on. I feel like they got enough victories that we can finally stop asking is Dan Quinn gonna be the coach next year. I mean that's pretty obvious. I mean look who he beat. He beat two of the best teams in NFC. You know what I'm saying this season. So so that's the way I look at it. Um, we the Saints got to get out our feelings. On Hey, can you kind of elaborate on that? What was that gigantist? Can you elaborate on that? You said the Saints got to get out their feelings. I don't understand that. I understand what you're talking about with that. I do know that they need to. I think they need to play better. That I do know. I think they need to play a little bit better. So let's see. How are we gonna get the number three when we beat Seattle? We got the number three right now because we haven't played yet. Um, Looking at them standings, it looked like if the Saints win or lose, they'll be a number three seed. Well, if they lose, they'll remain at the three seed. I just say that. Um, let's see. Let's see. Nas is the Saints YouTuber and on live right now, and y'all could collab. Um, Mark Ford, you know what I'm saying? Look, I got respect for Nas, man. He doing his thing, and I mean, I check out his channel and stuff like that. I'm open to collabing with, people and stuff like that. I'm open to that. But I understand like people got their own lane and stuff like that, man. People trying to create, their own content. And but I strongly support him. I strongly support him and if y'all want to, click over and go check him out too, you know what I'm saying? I ain't got no problem with that either. Like I said, I'm not one of them people that just want all the subscribers to myself or whatever. I feel like there's enough content to go around. I feel like there's more, enough love for the Saints to go around. So I mean, I respect what he does. I really do, man. I enjoy his content. So y'all check him out, man. You need to start your sentence just like you address me using the @ symbol and then use the channel name plus your suggestions. I don't know what that was. I guess y'all going back and forth with each other. Vikings need to beat Green Bay. Yeah, the feeling's mutual. The Falcons and the Saints will be an amazing series next year. Yeah, it might be. Yeah, it might be. Um, can you collab with Nas? He is a Saints YouTuber on live right now too. Um, I've already answered that one. We got to take care of business tomorrow night. Yeah, we do. I think they will though. I think the message is gonna. I think the message was sent. Tiebreaker is head to head. Counting opponent conference record in that order. Uh, I asked him and he said to ask you, what your thoughts about doing a video together. Um, I mean, if you want to do one, I'm open, man. I don't care. I don't care. But shouts out to him, man. I love his channel. Man. I look at all the Saints content, man. I got love for all the Saints YouTubers out there. I mean, at the end of the day, I think we all have a voice. I think we all got something to say. Yeah, I think we all got a great perspective on things. And nobody thinks about the team the same. That's what I love about it. People approach it in different ways. Let's see. Saints have to win. Bottom line. I don't want to win the Super Bowl because we pray for technicalities, especially when that requires rooting for the Falcons. Thank you. Thank Ryan Template, thank you very much. Thank you very much. You basically said what I said, what I've been saying. Look, check this out, man. Look, if you're as good as you say you are, you don't have to sit up here and be praying for teams to lose. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that at all, man. You all you have to do is go out there and execute and handle your own business. That's it. If you handle your own business, then you don't have to worry about going out there and praying, watching your TV, hoping that a team win or lose. Win when you need to win. Win the games that you need to win. Execute the way that you know that you can execute, and you don't have these problems. Okay, then you wouldn't have to worry about, oh man, I hope that the Falcons win today. Oh man, Green Bay lost. Oh man, they won. Shoot, man, we still in. Nah, they need to handle their own business. And if they handle their own business, then we wouldn't have this problem. We wouldn't have this problem as fans. No excuses, no ifs, ands, or buts about it, homie. You got to handle your business, and they have not. Okay, so it just so happens that the Falcons won this game today, and it sets up the Saints to possibly control their own destiny once again. So, what are they going to do about it? I mean, what are you going to do about it? It's only a handful of times. These situations are going to continue to happen. You got to handle your business, man, and start watching and praying that other teams lose. I'm tired of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm tired of hoping, praying, asking, wishing. I just want this team to be as good as we know they can be. And if they can play as good as we know they can play, we wouldn't even have no problem. We'll be looking at the best team in football. Defense was stepping up all 5 weeks. Drew Brees was gone. If they step up the same way they stepped up those 5 weeks, we wouldn't have this problem. We wouldn't even be having this conversation right now. We wouldn't. But here we are. Is Cam Jordan playing tomorrow? Yeah, he is. He's playing. Even though he didn't practice, he's playing. Look at the 49ers now. They lost to the Atlanta Falcons. Not sure if you answered the question, but do you think we will sign Janoris Jenkins, TJ? Look, I don't know if we're going to sign Janoris Jenkins. Do I feel like the Saints need Janoris Jenkins? Absolutely. The Saints secondary is horrible. Let's just call it for what it is. This is one of the things that scare me going into the postseason. Guys not be able to make plays down the stretch, guys not being in position, guys woofing on tackles, guys getting smoked. They need to do better. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what the coaching is. I don't know what the scheme is. I don't know what the heck happened to Eli Apple. But I mean, he's been playing horrible. Okay, I tried to pinpoint the time where he started to go back and regress again, and I was gonna give him the benefit of the doubt because I don't know if y'all remember. It may be like the last series on defense when you were playing against the Chicago Bears and he went down, and he hurt his knee. And everybody was kind of afraid. They were scared. They were saying like, "Man, is he gonna play? Is he gonna play?" Blah blah blah. And he ended up playing, and he didn't lose no time. I don't know if he's playing through injury or working his way through it. But it just seems like this secondary is just god awful, and it's pathetic, like why is it that you play good a couple weeks and then the next week you look absolutely horrible? You're staking smoke. You're staking out of position. Like this is stuff that guys in their rookie season. Like honestly, I can understand C.J. Gardner Johnson being out of position from time to time. He's a rookie. But when you got guys like Marcus Williams, P.J. Williams, Marshawn Lattimore, Eli Apple, guys that have played with each other multiple years, they should be able to finish each other's sentences. They should be able to do. They should be able to look at each other and know what the other person is thinking. And when you getting smoked like that, when you getting embarrassed like that, like it just sad, man. Like that play to Emmanuel Sanders where Jimmy Garoppolo threw the ball down the field when the Saints had the 49ers teetering. That was the most desperation pass I ever seen in my entire life. I mean, he basically was drawing something up and hoping that it stick because he thought like, man, this game about to get out of control. Let me make a play. And he threw the ball down the field. There is no excuse why a guy cannot make a play. I mean, the dude threw the ball in the air like it was a punt. So you telling me that these guys are enabled to make plays down the field? Or, I mean, how many of us get nervous and hold our breath every time we see a deep pass? Every time we see the quarterback throw and we see the cameraman just start launching the ball downfield. How many of us hold our breath and hope that a cornerback or a safety is in position? How many of us do that? I'm pretty sure every single one of us do that. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't know what's going to happen on the other end. We don't know if it's about to be a 60-yard game. We don't know if it's about to be a touchdown. But all I know is that I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it as a fan. I'm tired of sitting up here analyzing pathetic secondary play. It's pathetic. Now I know I just went into a long spiel to answer your question. Do they need Janoris Jenkins? Absolutely. Because I feel like you can probably put him on the inside or the outside, or you can put like Eli Apple on the inside, which I think he's a bigger guy. He'll be able to guard the slot, and you'll be able to rotate him and PJ Williams or whoever else they have out there in the rotation. All I know is that I'm sick of it. I am sick and tired of watching the Saints secondary get smoked. That's all I know. Okay, Marshawn Lattimore still working his way through a hamstring. Okay, give him a couple more weeks. He probably gonna be back to form. But the rest of these guys, I'm just getting sick of it. I mean, how many times do we have to look at PJ Williams to know that he sucks? How many times are we gonna look at? How many times do we have to pay attention and see that this guy just continuously get beat? How many times do you have to see this in order for you to know that this guy ain't it? I'm just asking the question. Somebody help me out here. How many times do you have to get yourself embarrassed, humiliated, lost it, you know what I'm saying, getting, you know what I'm saying, beaten the last minute because guys aren't doing their job? We got to do better. We got to do better. I mean, we got to. We got to do better. Yeah, Marcus Williams messing up big time. Man, stop it. Stop it, Irvin. Stop it. Marcus Williams is the best part of this defense in the secondary. Marcus Williams is a Pro Bowler right now. Marcus Williams is ranked one of the top safeties in football according to Pro Football Focus. It was not his fault that George Kittle caught the pass. It was not, okay? Now, you can make an argument to say he should have made the tackle, but at the end of the day, it wasn't his fault. And I ain't about to let people just pick on this man like that because it just seemed like he just, low hanging fruit. Marcus Williams has been playing incredible. You cannot sing this man praises when he catch a pick, you know what I'm saying, when he cover about 20 yards of field and then say that this man a GOAT when, you know what I'm saying, I ain't talking about like a uppercase, I'm talking about a lowercase GOAT when something happened and something go down. That's not that man's fault. Marcus Williams has been a bright spot. And as a matter of fact, people have been saying, okay, man, this is his fault, this is his fault. No, it's not. Most of the time, if Marcus Williams getting beat deep, it's because BJ Williams got beat deep. He's a safety. The safety is the last line of defense. So if the wide receiver is running past the corner, who's back there? Okay? And if he gets behind him, the safety is not as fast as the corner. That's why he's a safety. Why you think, excuse me, why do you think if a cornerback runs a slow 40 time, teams switch him from corner to safety? Because they slow. They're not as fast. So it's not a surprise that Emmanuel Sanders got past Marcus Williams. It's PJ Williams' fault. Think about this. When Marshawn Lattimore went down, that was the most you probably talked about Marcus Williams in a negative light all season long. And the reason why was because of PJ Williams was getting beat. That just all there is to it. So I'm not going to allow. I can't. You know what I'm saying? Like Marcus Williams has been one of the best players, not just on the Saints team, but in the NFL. Okay, look it up. This ain't me talking. This ain't me just showing favoritism. Look it up. Look up the safety. Look up safety rankings and see what Marcus Williams for. That's all I'm saying. I think we should sign him, move Eli to the slot, and let him rotate with Gardner Johnson and let Jack Rabbit play the number two. I'm on the fence with that. I'm on the fence with that because let's not act as if Janoris Jenkins was out here killing things for the Giants. He was out there getting smoked too now. I mean, let's just call it for what it is. Okay? Could you put him on the outside? Cool. I don't care who on the outside. As long as somebody out there can make a play. Okay? They need to teach these guys how to make plays. See, I don't know how aggravating this is because I go back and watch these games, okay? I go back and watch them. I go back and watch the footage. And if you, I'm telling you, take some time. Take some, like, I know we don't want to watch these games, but go back and watch the games the Saints lose. It's not many of them. I mean, that's a blessing, right? It's not many of them. Watch how many, or you can even watch the games they win. Watch how many plays. If the cornerback just turn his head around, he'll have an interception. They never turn their head around. Honestly, think about this. Like, I'm pretty everybody on here have watched the New Orleans Saints play all season long. How many times have you seen a Saints cornerback jump in front of a route, you know what I'm saying, or just make a super athletic interception? Like how many times? I could count how many times on one hand. How many times a player in the secondary or a player at linebacker position or a player up front caught an interception and that was like, oh man, that was a great play. Caught Shy Tuttle on Thanksgiving. The interception in week one, Marcus Williams when he covered 20 yards of field. And I gotta give him credit for this. PJ Williams when he caught the interception in his zone against Jameis Winston. Besides that, everything else, man, been basically a miscalculated pass by a quarterback, and a corner, the linebacker was just in that spot. But if it comes down to man to man, one on one, make a play, mano a mano, ain't happening. And because they never turn their head around. I mean, like I said, I've watched hours of Saints football. I'm not just saying this. If you don't believe me, go back and watch it yourself. Just take your pick. Take your pick of any game. I mean, you ain't gotta go watch the whole game. They got highlights, you know what I'm saying, of games and stuff like that throughout the season. Take your pick. Watch how many plays. You're gonna see the Saints corners. They're running at the person. They never turn their head around. And if they would turn their head around, man, if the Saints turn their head around, if their corners turn their head around, the Saints will lead the league in interceptions. But like I know people don't like this team right now, and people consider these guys cheaters. But the Patriots do the best job at generating turnovers, like turning their head around, making plays. I never seen nothing like it. Like the way that they turn around and you know what I'm saying, and they play the ball, but the Saints don't do it. They just don't. And it's frustrating. Yesterday night, the 49ers were saying that the Saints were sad because they lost to Atlanta. Whatever. Marcus Williams only looked bad when he is trying to cover someone else's blown assignment. Thank you, Ryan. That's true. I mean, he's a safety. I mean, safeties aren't that fast. They fast, but they aren't that fast. Okay, that's the reason why they're safeties, and they're the last line of defense. And 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna be honest with you. If a safety going up against a wide receiver, the safety probably gonna end up losing. That's just what it is. Like everybody can't be Earl Thomas. Everybody's not um, Ed Reed, Troy Polamalu, Bob Sanders. You know, Sean Dawkins. Everybody not these guys. Okay, that's the reason why these guys are considered special players. Okay, but it is what it is. ID sucks. I won't say ID sucks, Drew. I can't say ID sucks. Okay, I can't say our defense is sad because I watched it for 5 weeks when Drew Brees went down. Do you honestly think that the Saints record would be as good as it is if the Saints defense wasn't playing lights out for those 5 weeks? Teddy Bridgewater wasn't lighting it up like that. Teddy Bridgewater wasn't turning the ball over. He was making smart decisions. But the defense was the reason why the Saints were winning the game. That and the running game. Okay, so we were all saying this, like we were all saying, man, can you imagine what would happen if Drew Brees comes back and the defense playing like this? The Saints will be unstoppable. We said this. We said this, didn't we? Didn't we say this? We said that the defense would be unstoppable. That's what we said. But look at it now. Like you regress because your 40-year-old quarterback comes back. Oh, okay, we good now. Drew back. Help the man out. Like help the man out. That's all I'm saying. Help the offense out. It's pretty obvious, man. Like they need each other. Like you score 46 points and lose. Please go through our history and look how many times a team scored 46 points and lost a football game. Guarantee is not. I guarantee you is in the low numbers. I'm just saying. I told y'all, man, this is a real show. Like if you want to sit up here and see your pom poms and say who that, you know what I'm saying. I say who that, no doubt. But we get real here. You know what I'm saying? We get down to the nitty gritty about what's really going on, and we address these problems because as a Saints fan, we tired of dealing with it. We don't want to see no more Minnesota miracles. We don't want to see no plays just up to the referees. Beat these teams down and make your way to the Super Bowl. That's all I'm saying. Beat these teams down and make your way to the Super Bowl. Take it out of the hands of the referees. Take it out their hands. Let's see. Let's see. I'm fired up, man. I'm sorry. Like I'm sorry. I'm fired up tonight, man. We ain't had no Saints football. I was able to watch all the football games, analyze it. I watched the Tennessee Titan game, so that's gonna be pretty interesting going into next week. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of good notes on that. So y'all check that out after the Saints play their Monday night game because they play the Tennessee Titans next. I think it comes down to the coaching. I see a lot of questionable play calling. Joseph, good analysis right there. I'm about to be honest with you. Okay? I'm about to be honest with everybody on here. Sean Payton will be the reason why the Saints don't make the Super Bowl. Sean Payton will be the reason why the Saints don't make the Super Bowl. Sean Payton gets a little arrogant. Sean Payton gets a little full of himself. He feel like he's the smartest man in the room, smartest person in the stadium, and he makes these crazy mistakes, and he overthinks himself. Like he wants to he wants everybody to appreciate his genius. Okay, he wants everybody to appreciate his genius, and that's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like he is a genius. He's a great football mind, great offensive mind, one of the best. But sometimes it don't get that serious. It don't get that deep. Fourth down, 4th and 6, pass, you know what I'm saying? If you're on the other side of the 50, punt the football. You know what I'm saying? If you're on your own 50, punt. You know what I'm saying? Like punt the football. It's not that hard. If your team is down, it's 4th and 5 in the fourth quarter, few minutes left, okay, go for it. First quarter, 4th and 5, punt the football. You're playing field position. He overthinks things way too much. And I think that whole onside kick in the Super Bowl thing, oh, he's a genius. Oh, he's the most gutsiest play caller in all of football. He's so gutsy. He's gutsy. He got a lot of guts. You see all the guts coming about him because he got guts. And he lets that stuff get to him. He lets that kind of stuff gets to his mind and be like, okay, everybody's saying that I'm great. I got a lot of guts. I got to prove everybody right. No, man. Play for field position. Okay? Play for field position. If you do that, then you will be successful. I feel like the Saints lost that 49er game because of his bad play calling and his bad decisions down the stretch. Straight up. If you would have just punt the ball, if you would have just kicked the field goal, then you won't get mad at the meat man at Rouse's because the meat man told you the right thing. Like shouts out to the meat man, whoever he is. If you watch the Stay the Same podcast, shouts out to the meat man at Rouse's because he told him right. It's the first quarter, dude. What is you doing? Kick the field goal. Kick it. We gonna go for two. For what? For what? What is you doing, man? He has to get out his own way. Okay. Another thing, you gotta run the football, and you gotta go with the guy that's hot. We all love Alvin Kamara, don't we? We love Alvin. Okay, we love Alvin. We love his confidence. We love his down to earth personality that he have. He walks down the streets of the French quarters. No entourage, no security, no nothing. He a man of the people. We love that. Okay, we love all that. But at the end of the day, Latavius Murray is running the football better than him, and yet he leaves the game and we don't see him. Latavius Murray, 10 yards. Latavius Murray, 7 yards. Latavius Murray, 14 yards. Then we don't see him again. Alvin Kamara, 1 yard. Alvin Kamara, 2 yards. Alvin Kamara, 3 yards. Alvin Kamara, 1 yard. Alvin Kamara pass out the backfield, -2 yards. Why aren't we using Latavius Murray? Why? This man is proving that he can run a football. This man is getting 5, 6, 7 yards a pop. This man is averaging 8, 9 yards a carry. Why is he running the football? The man wants it. You can see it in his eyes. This man breaking tackles. He never goes down with the first wave most of the time. And he's 6'2". Most of the time, if he leans forward, it's gonna be a first down. But nah, we're gonna have him on the sidelines. We're gonna, man be lathered up when he get in a game in the first half. Second half, he drives a bone because he ain't running no plays. Run the football. And I know why, man. We all know why, don't we, folks? Let's just call it for what it is. It's because of Drew Brees. And I love Drew Brees, but at the end of the day, I think Sean Payton feel like his success is conjoined to Drew Brees. So if Drew Brees can be the all-time leading passer, if he can be the all-time leading completions, if he can be the all-time leading touchdowns, they're going to look at Drew and then they're going to look at him. Okay? And I understand that, man. You're trying to change the narrative of what New Orleans Saints football is. Okay? I mean, don't get it twisted, man. We all know the New Orleans Saints used to do a lot of losing back in the day. But you're trying to change the narrative, but at the same time, man, run the football. Run the football. If you run a football, I guarantee you're going to be successful. Okay? I want Drew to break all the records and stuff like that, too. And I'm pretty sure he's going to break the touchdown record tomorrow night, which I'm pretty sure all the people on Monday Night Football, they loving that. They loving that he's going to break the record on Monday Night Football. Break Peyton Manning's record. But at the end of the day, what that going to get you, man? Is that going to get you a Super Bowl? Is that going to get you, a Lombardi trophy? I don't think so, man. But running the football will. Let's see. Back to your question, though, man. I told y'all, man, I'm fired up. I got a lot on my mind. 2010 defense lost to Seattle. 2012 defense lost to San Francisco. 2017 lost to Minnesota. 2018 defense on the field goal. Uh, 3 defenses give up field goal defense. Let us down every time. Yep. Yeah, and that's very alarming. It's sad when Drew Brees goes into a press conference and an interview and they asked him when Traquan Smith scores a touchdown, what was going through your mind? And he says, we scored too early. Do you think if he had confidence in his defense, do you think that he would have said, we scored too early? No, he didn't. No, he wouldn't. He wouldn't have said that. That shows you right there that he'll never say it because we all know that Drew Brees is the closest thing to a politician you're going to find in the NFL. He's going to say all the right things. But we all know what's going through his mind, man. He wants the ball in the hands of the offense. He don't trust the defense. I mean, he said that in so many words. You get tired of it, man. You get tired of it. You get tired of watching this every time. Like you get tired of watching your heart like literally get ripped out because the defense can't make a play, can't make one freaking stop, one stop. Like and it, man, it breaks your heart, man. It breaks your heart. It takes you off. You watching teams go to the Super Bowl. You know that was better. Like, do you honestly think that if the Saints would have ended up beating Minnesota and went to Philadelphia, you think that the Philadelphia Eagles would have beat the Saints like they beat Minnesota? No, no way. We all know that. We know that wasn't happening. Who knows what would have happened? Who knows if the Saints would have beat the Philadelphia Eagles? We'll never know though. I mean, who knows? The Saint if the Saints would have beat the New England Patriots. Who knows? But you just get tired of that, man. You get tired of those last minute heartbreaks every single year. Like honestly, I'd rather them get blew out than than to just get your heart ripped out like that. That just takes you off. And I guess in a regular season, it just was a reminder, man. Like what happened with the 49ers, it was just a reminder of all the postseason heartbreak that you experienced. Even though they play next week, it just felt as a fan, it felt like a playoff game. And it was like the disappointment that you felt in the playoffs was like what you felt last week. And you don't want to feel like that, man. You just want your team to play to the best of their abilities and the defense to make a stop when they need to. He's not better, but his brutality complements Kamara's skill set. Ask Richard Sherman about that. Kamara needs to be used as a receiving back and Murray as a running back. Just try it for a game and see how it goes. I don't agree with that, Invictus. I feel like Alvin Kamara can run between the tackles. I mean, we've seen this his rookie season. The thing about it is, the thing about it is how he's being used. They're using him as the number one running back. So they have him doing like the Mark Ingram role and his role. And I feel like uh they need to use Latavius a little bit. Man, me personally, I would use three running backs. I use Dwayne Washington two. I would use three running backs. Dwayne Washington is really good. I just don't get. I don't understand why he ain't running the football. I don't. I mean, be that as it may, you know, you only see him during garbage time, but he be running that football. And I feel like if you had like a three running back set, bruh, ain't no telling what you can be. I mean, I don't know, man. I just feel like they're approaching it I just feel like they're approaching it wrong. But hey, what I know, Kamara. Let me see. Sean tries to go blow for blow with Shanahan. Yep, yep. Yep. That was just horrible, man. Murray is the power back. Kamara is the finesse hybrid. Yep. I think they can use them the same way they use Ingram. Yep. The records don't matter. The season does. That's true too. I mean, we seen some teams that had losing records, uh, not so good records, and end up making a Super Bowl. Thank you. No quarterback will say that 53 damn seconds. Yep. TJ, you're right about what Drew said about scoring too early. Defense. Dennis Allen called it plays to put the cornerbacks in position they can't handle. Yep. Yeah, Kyle Shanahan made Dennis Allen look like he was a high school coach or something last week. So do you think we can win tomorrow? Yeah, Cedric, I think we can win tomorrow. I think what this team is, this is a gritty team. I feel like this team understands what's in front of them, and they got the opportunity to right the wrongs of last week. So I don't think they're gonna squander this ever again. It's like, in my opinion, it's like having a second chance at the playoffs. Like you lose, get eliminated from the playoffs, and you got opportunity to play again. They're gonna lay it all on the line. At least we have LSU. Man, we got the Saints. You know, Drew, we got the Saints. The Saints are a good football team, man. It's not like they garbage or something like that. It's just frustrating because you know how good they are, and they don't live up to expectations. When the Saints had the ball last week, all they have to do was burn the time off the clock when it was 53 seconds. I said this, and maybe I don't know, maybe Traquan Smith. I'm pretty sure like he has confidence in his team. But if I was Traquan Smith, I'm gonna be honest with you. If I was Traquan Smith and I know what my defense was doing, I would have broke them tackles. And when I realized that them dudes weren't gonna catch me, I would have ran to the middle of the field and fell at the 1 yard line. That's what I would have did. Or ran out of bounds short of the short of the goal line. That's me personally. That's what I would have did. I would have did that. You know what I'm saying? That way, it's rather we gonna get 3 cracks or 4 cracks at this end zone from the one, or you know what I'm saying, they're gonna let us score whatever. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. Regardless, one more play gonna have to get ran in 53 seconds. One going, you know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure like 40 seconds would have 40 seconds would have been a lot better than 53. So I would have ran to the middle of the field and failed. Or I would have failed in bounds, let the clock keep on running and let them use their timeouts. Either way. But if New Orleans don't try to upgrade their roster on both sides of the ball, the Saints will not make it far in the playoffs. Start with the cornerback, wide receivers, and better play calling. Well, I'm not going to disrespect Sean Payton too much because that was the best offensive play calling game he had all season long. But I will agree with you. They need to upgrade at the wide receiver position, at the corner position. Lucky for them, they got some good young corners coming in the draft. Make no mistake about it. Look, if you're looking for the guy to come through the door to try to change the Saints, and become an elite number two receiver, you ain't about to find this guy on the street because if he was any good, he'll be on somebody's roster right now. The fact is, the Saints, they got to roll what they got. Like what it is. They got to roll what they got. You can try to get Janoris Jenkins. You can try to get Terrell Suggs, but you got to roll what you got. I mean, what's gonna make you successful is what you got in this locker room. I mean, these guys do have 10 wins. Like that's not poo poo on that. You know what I'm saying? They got 10 wins with what they got. So that's a good football team. That's a good football team, no doubt. But I don't know. I'm just looking like next year's when you're gonna see them have to correct some of these some of these holes that they got. Drew Brees plays the best when he's mad. Drew Brees played the best game I seen him play in years last week. That man had 6 total touchdowns. And I said this: if it was Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers, somebody like that had a performance like that in the loss. Oh my God, I cannot believe it. Oh, they lost. The team let them down. But look at what happened. 6 touchdowns. Like nobody was saying anything about like Drew. People like he got out. Jimmy Garoppolo outdoed him. Really? He outdoed him? Really? I don't think so. Drew Brees was on last week. Drew Brees was dialed in. Drew Brees was dropping dimes. Did you see that pass that he threw to Michael Thomas? Like, man, Drew Brees was looking like 2010, 2011 Drew Brees out there. Saints need to run 3 running backs. I agree, PJ. I agree. Uh, Lamar, I agree. You can't guarantee the touchdown though. We have to win the last 3. Yeah, we got to. Um, We don't. We use Washington. This guy has averaged 14 yards per carry and 6 yards per carry last year. He's a playmaker every time he gets the ball. Yep, they got him on special team. Hopefully, Noah Spence can combines with Hendrickson can take the pressure off Cam. Hopefully, wide receiver, secondary, and O line upgrade. Let's see. D line better step up tomorrow and next week. Better next 2 teams will run the ball constantly. Yep. They run the football. Colts run the football well, and Titans they run the ball like it's 1962 out there. Any word on if Jared Cook is out of concussion protocol? Yep, he out of concussion protocol, and he will play on Monday. They did an interview with him. You can check that out on New Orleans Saints .com. He's being interviewed and stuff like that. Man, that was a huge loss when he left the game, which I feel like was uh was intentional in my opinion. And Witherspoon got fined $28,000 for that hit on Jared Cook. I'm pretty sure the 49ers organization gonna pay for it. Drew Brees just more fantasy points than Jimmy. Okay, put Butler out there to see what he can do. We must run the ball to win. Let's see, dude. I get triggered every time I hear Jimmy out dueling him. Six touchdown, yeah, 6 to 4 touchdowns, 0 to 1 interception. Yep, but they ain't gonna tell that narrative though. It's all about who won and who lost. Drew Brees was carving that defense up. That was the number one defense in football that man was carving up. I mean, this wasn't like it was the 32nd or 31st ranked defense. This was the first ranked defense in football, and he was carving them up. But do we get any credit? Nope. Let Tom Brady would have did it. Oh, Tom Brady, he's 41 years old, and oh man, he's an ageless wonder. What is Drew Brees then? If Tom Brady is the ageless wonder, what is Drew Brees? That's all I want to know. But they have no problem pointing out Drew Brees' imperfections. They have no problem with that, don't they? They can do that though. They will point this man's shortcomings and imperfections out like it ain't nothing. They will put a bad pass that Drew Brees threw on the TV so quick. Let's see. Saints winning the Super Bowl. I don't know what y'all talking about. That's the way I feel. So you worried about the playoffs this year? Man, I'm worried about playoff every year. I'm worried about playoffs every year. I have a bold prediction. Deontay Harris catches Breeze record breaking touchdown tomorrow. That's another person I feel like the Saints need to start using on the offense a little bit better. Deontay Harris. I mean, he played really well last week. I agree. Drew the goat. Jared Cook opens up our offense. I think Jared Cook will be the reason the Saints will go to the Super Bowl. He was killing the 49ers. Drew was picking them apart. Uh, they nitpicked at the Saints though. Somebody said Brady is done. I don't know if Brady done or not, man, but I just know that they don't give Drew Brees no respect at all. They don't give him absolutely no respect, and it's sad. They quick to point out Tom Brady's age and if he throws a touchdown, but Drew Brees he just deaf. And I know why. I mean we all know why. Saints small media market. They don't think people really pay that much attention to them. They can write the narratives of what Saints football and Saints fans are all about because they got that power. They control. You know, what we want to see, but they'll turn around and say we want to see it. How were the Dallas Cowboys America's game of the week with a 6-7 record? If you don't believe if they control the narrative, that was America's game of the week, a 6-7 Cowboys team. And they keep on throwing this NFC East up in our face, like, oh man, who's gonna win it? Somebody's gotta win it. Somebody's gotta win it. Uh, is it me? Or does it seem like every time the Saints play, the announcers take shots at the Saints and low key be rooting for the opposing team? I don't know, Chosen. I don't know if they're doing that or not. I just don't think they respect the Saints the way that they do the other team. I feel like they first they do that to the Cowboys a lot. They be setting storylines up with the Cowboys. Like every little thing that going with the Cowboys, they just set that up because we all know they love themselves some Cowboys, man. They be, just salivating over the Cowboys. But like I said, the Saints are a really good football team, and we know that they don't want them in there. They don't want small market teams in there, man. Like honestly, they don't want small market teams in the Super Bowl. You rarely ever see small market teams in the Super Bowl. Like honestly, like you see the Patriots every year, big market. You see Philadelphia in the Super Bowl, big market. Um, you'll see the Seahawks in there and stuff like that. You know, they're a smaller market team, but um, you know they'll be going up against a team that's like in a larger market, like the Patriots. That's what they want. They they don't want to see no, I don't know, one day no Jacksonville Jaguars against like it was their worst nightmare. Y'all remember the AFC Championship game when the Jaguars, I think it was the Jaguars who played the Patriots, and I think it was the Eagles that played the Vikings. Like, could you imagine? I guarantee you, like they did not want to see Blake Bortles going up against Case Keenum in those Super Bowl. They didn't want to see that, man. They did not want to see that at all. It just like I feel like and people can say what they want. I feel like they screwed the Saints last year because they had what they wanted to do was gain they were trying to gain attention in the Los Angeles market. You have these two teams that's about to get this brand new stadium, and you trying to get all these different eyes on the Los Angeles teams. You trying to get their eyes on the Los Angeles Chargers, and you trying to get your eyes on the Los Angeles Rams. You find this very ironic. The last two seasons when these teams like think about this when the Chargers was in San Diego and the Rams were in St. Louis, these teams rarely would go into the playoffs. Soon as they go to Los Angeles, both teams are playoff contenders. Last season, both teams made it to at least the divisional round of the playoffs. The Rams made it all the way to the Super Bowl. This season, neither one of those teams in playoffs. I'm just saying, is that a coincidence? I don't know. How is it that all of a sudden these teams just get that good? How is it that all of a sudden these teams just start getting all these different free agents coming through the spot? So I feel like the Saints were a casualty of war. You know, I feel like they were just trying to create. They were just trying to create buzz in Los Angeles, and the Saints were a team. That was on the receiving end. Of one of the biggest heists in the history of NFL. But they'll never say it though. But we know what it is, man. If Roger Goodell was the NFL commissioner in 2005, he would have moved the Saints to Los Angeles without hesitation. Yeah, probably. Is it me, or does it seem like Ted Ginn Jr. playing like he's 80 years old, scared to get hit? Should Harris take on the speedy deep threat role? I don't know, man. I don't know if you need to take it on or not. Ted Ginn played all right last week. I mean, but he is 35 years old, man. Ain't no spring chicken, man. And I mean, he always had issues with dropping passes, man. He always been that way. Sign Tracy Porter, please. We need him to help us with the Super Bowl run. Man, Tracy Porter, I think his best days are behind him. What he like 33 or 34 years old? Yeah, nah, I don't think that's what we need right now. NFL want the LA and New York teams to make it so bad. And 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 the Cowboys as well. Yep. Last year's conference championship game, both of the small market Chiefs and Saints got cheated by the refs, and the big market teams advanced to the Super Bowl. Yep. I don't know if people pay attention to that, but I did. Like I said, I just feel like um, they just don't want them in there. They don't want the Saints in there. They don't want the Saints to be successful. And to be quite honest with you, I think the NFL loves that their whole Saints controversy happened. I really do. I think they love that their whole controversy happened because now it's like the narrative is that the NFL is screwing the Saints. So people are going to tune into the Saints to see the Saints get screwed over and the NFL to pretend like it ain't happening. And that's good storyline. That's money. You know what I'm saying? That's ratings. So the Saints are basically going to be, that team to get screwed over for everybody else's entertainment. And it sucks. Drew isn't talking about because he doesn't have 6 rings. It shouldn't matter if he got 6 rings. Aaron Rodgers got one. He gets talked about all the time, right? I mean, who else? Dak Prescott get talked about all the time. He ain't got none. Um, man, who else? Carson Wentz got one, even though he wasn't a part of it. I mean, he still was a part of that team. I mean, he get talked about all the time. Drew Brees just get the short end of the stick. I mean, I've heard all kind of things. Things like, oh, you know what I'm saying? He plays in a dome and that's the reason why he threw up so many yards and he's a beneficiary of a Sean Payton offense. He gets an opportunity to throw the ball all around the place. Like anybody can do it. Like you can just put any I don't know, any Gino Toretta or Vinny Testaverde back there in the pocket and they're gonna throw for 63,000 plus yards. You know what I'm saying? Like I just don't get it. But let Tom Brady do something like that. Let Tom Brady throw for all those yards. Like he just the greatest thing since sliced toast bread. I just don't get it. I just think they need to put some respect on that man's name. I think that they need to stop playing. I think they need to realize that Drew Brees is one of the best quarterbacks of all time, and he don't get his respect, and it's sad. It's sad though. But all in all, man, I just think that the Saints get screwed over by the refs. I think they get screwed over by the NFL. And honestly, like I said, I just feel like the NFL likes this narrative that's going. The Saints getting screwed over by the refs. It's like a TV show, right? It's all like honestly, it's almost like comedy the way the Saints get screwed over now. You know, it's like comedy. You know what I'm saying? It's like slapstick comedy or something like a Leslie Nielsen Naked Gun movie or something like that. Like you cannot believe how stupid it is. You know what I'm saying? You cannot believe what you're watching. The way that these guys get screwed over. It's like an art or something like that. Like, you just get like that personal foul call on CJ Gardner Johnson last week. I think it was on Hushek or whatever like that, the fullback. And they said that he gave a personal foul. Man, wasn't nowhere near this man him. Like it's just hilarious the way that these guys just screw him over. And then other fan bases like, oh man, y'all be crying, bro. Man, always the refs. Like, cause it is. Like honestly, the only reason why like I said, is for their entertainment. You know what I'm saying? It's for their entertainment and it's for us, you know what I'm saying, like to basically give us the middle finger. I mean, they see it. Like if you have a friend that's not a fan of the Saints, the only reason why they don't want to see it is because they don't like the Saints. If they were an objective fan, you would actually like if you were an objective fan and you were just watching football, you would actually say, man, they screwing these guys over. But you'll never hear them say that. You'll never hear them say it because, like I said, it's for their entertainment and it's for our misery. TJ, is the Saints defense worse than 2010 championship Saints defense? No, it's not. No, it's not. Saints, how will TJ? How will we stand if we win tomorrow night? I think we're gonna be like the 1 or the 2 seed. I'll get back to you on that. Of course, I'm gonna do a video tomorrow, so y'all be on the lookout for that. I'll have more clarity on the playoff picture. Man, if Breeze had Patriots defense, he'll have 3 more Super Bowls. Yep. Chosen. That Saints defense was great in '09. Gave up yards, but got 3 turnovers every game. Yep. There was a bend but don't break defense, and they generated the most turnovers I think, in the NFL that year. But that's all the time I have, man. We went a little bit longer than usual. Usually we stay on about an hour, so I thought we'd go a little longer. But I'm get my final thought. The New Orleans Saints got to go out here against the Indianapolis Colts on Monday Night Football and handle up on their business. They have an opportunity to control their own destiny once again. They have an opportunity to get the top spot. They shouldn't be lollygagging, pussyfooting around with this team. They got to make sure that they go out there and they execute. I understand that they got some injuries. I understand they got some guys out there that are going to be playing the linebacker position, not as good at covering and as a Kiko Alonso is or AJ Klein. I think AJ might play. I'm not sure. I didn't see that he was going to miss the game. But at the end of the day, they got to go out there and they got to play. Um, if they go around here and they keep on messing around with the Indianapolis Colts, you're going to give this team confidence and make them believe that they can actually beat you. And if you allow that to happen, if you allow that to happen, then you're going to end up losing a football game. The New Orleans Saints, they gotta get better on the defensive side of football. They gotta be able to communicate better. They gotta be able to communicate in the secondary. They gotta stop giving up these big plays. They gotta stop getting beat. They gotta wrap up. They gotta tackle. Like I understand what y'all trying to do with these forced fumbles and stuff like that. Cool, but you gotta tackle. Okay, you gotta tackle. Like if the opportunity presents itself and you can knock the ball out of a player hand, fine. But go for the tackle. They got to start wrapping up. And also the defense up front, losing Davenport, losing Rankins, you got to be able to stop the run. And I think they should be able to be successful. My score, once again, I got the Saints 31, the Colts 17. The New Orleans Saints will win to go to 11-3. And once again, I'll have the playoff picture for the NFC with you all on tomorrow when I do another video. Thank you all very much for checking out the State of Saints podcast. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com, search the State of Saints podcast. Also go to Facebook, follow on Facebook at State of the Saints podcast. Check us out on Twitter at SOTS Podcast 8, SOTS Podcast 8. Thank you all very much. And like always,